She dumped you for being too nice. 3 tips to identify your nice guy traits and how to change them.
Mr. Healthy Love.
Hi, I'm Mr. Healthy Love, your dating coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's finally up. This channel is going to be for men, but if you're a woman and you're wanting dating advice, then head over to my women's channel by clicking on the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video. And make sure you watch until the end of this video, where I'm going to tell you how you can message me your dating and relationship problems and have the opportunity for your questions to be answered on future YouTube videos. That said, today we're going to be talking about how to identify when you're being too nice to a woman. Okay, so what is going on here? Women are saying they want to be treated well, for someone to buy them flowers, be thoughtful, but at the same time they're saying that you're too nice. Are they lying to you? Are they deliberately winding you up? Or are you just saying to yourself, I can never understand women because it's like they're speaking another language? What's really happening here is not that women are deliberately trying to deceive you. They are just running a program that they've been told their entire life. When growing up, girls watched their favourite TV shows, books and movies where Prince Charming came on his horse like a knight in shining armour and swept them off their feet. They serenaded them, told them how much they loved them, bought them flowers, and they lived happily ever after. This is what the blockbuster movie producers do to captivate an audience. And because everyone is influenced by their surroundings, especially when they're growing up, women have been told that this is the kind of guy they should be looking for. And boys have also grown up watching these same movies thinking that this is what women want from them and this is the way they are going to attract the one. It's especially the case if a boy has not had a strong father figure in his life who has the characteristics of what makes a man successful in relationships. Yet when a man behaves like this when they reach adolescence, he finds that women are turned off by him. Women are also confused by this because they keep telling their friends this is exactly the type of guy they should be in a relationship with. But there is just no spark, or there lacks any chemistry. He's too nice. Yet at the same time, the other man that does none of these things has the phone blowing up with women chasing him. So what's the answer, you ask? What women are really looking for is a nice guy that isn't predictable because of his behaviour. Now that may seem a little confusing, but let me explain. So what I mean is women want to live in a romance novel. Now imagine if in the romance novel the guy was super nice. He did everything for her and they lived happily ever after. Sounds perfect, right? Well, maybe not. Would you really want to read that book? It sounds quite predictable and you might fall asleep halfway through reading it. Whereas a novel where at the end of each chapter you are enticed into reading what is about to happen next because there is a hook that leaves you wanting more, makes you want to stay awake for the next half an hour to see what happens. What I'm saying is there needs to be a level of mystery about the unknown. You're not a completely open book. She wants to see you again to find out a little more. You're a bit of a dark horse. She's not completely sure where she stands with you and the degree to which you like her. That's what I would describe as being the bad, nice guy. He's got a bit of an edge that makes her want to keep coming back for more, but he's not a bad boy because he doesn't mistreat her either. Buying a woman gifts or flowers too early in a relationship appears to her as if you are not authentic. Why do I deserve these gifts? He barely knows me but treats me like a celebrity. The man has put her on a pedestal where he values her higher than he values himself, and no woman is going to find a man who has placed himself beneath her as attractive. Women want a man that is of equal value or that they deem to be of high value and that is a challenge to get their attention or to capture. She wants a man that is interesting and spontaneous and brings something different to her day-to-day life. She wants her man to be a mystery. Truthful, yes, but not a completely open book. She wants to learn something new about him over a period of time as opposed to telling his entire life story on the phone before they've even had the first date. So the best way not to be put in the nice guy territory where she's not sure she wants to date you is to not get categorized in that territory in the first place. Easier said than done when your natural behavior is to be as nice as possible because you like her. Now, there will be some guys who are going to say, but I don't want to change being a nice guy because that's who I am. And that's fine. I'm not saying not to be nice, let me be clear. But what I am saying is, are you being true to who you are? Or has the environment that you've grown up in told you to be overly helpful and to please others in order to gain their validation? Ask yourself whether it's how you truly feel when you want to say no to something, but you end up saying yes because you are putting someone else's needs ahead of your own. Because step one into changing this social dynamic is to know when to say no. If you always cave in and say yes to things when you don't really want to do them, you need to ask yourself, why are you putting somebody else's needs ahead of your own? Women are going to test you every now and again and ask you to do something for them. And if they know that you really don't want to do it, but you give in to their demands, then they're going to subconsciously see this as a sign of weakness because you're not standing up for what you believe in. It's exactly the same when a man changes his opinion to fit a woman's because he thinks he's building rapport by having things in common. If you don't agree with something, then say so. Women shouldn't mind if you have a different opinion to theirs as long as your reasoning is justifiable. Don't get caught up in this nice guy trap. You may even find that if a woman tries to put you in the friend zone because you're too nice, that the nice guy will go along with it in the hope that he will be able to change her opinion on him later down the line. Again, being able to put your foot down and say no, I'm not interested in being just your friends, will make her realize that you have a backbone and can stand up for what you believe in. Step two is to still be your own man. Now, what I mean by this is not to prioritize her above yourself. Now, I'm not saying that just because you're not into the same things that you can't go with her to a gallery viewing every now and again just because you know that she loves them. That's a great thing that you can do because you're enjoying to go with her because you know it makes her happy. But what I am saying is you don't want to be following her like a puppy dog, doing everything that she wants to do because you don't want to rock the boat and say, actually, I'm not really into this kind of thing. You should go with your friends, but I'm actually going to go to the pub with my friends and watch the football. Don't just be led by her and not feel that you can say no sometimes. It's okay not to have the same interests and to do your own things occasionally. A nice guy is willing to conform because he is so concerned with the fragility of the relationship that he doesn't want to rock the boat and ruin anything. And this leads to step 3, which is know when to lead things romantically, such as the first kiss. Now, guys that have nice guy syndrome don't want to look like they're sexually interested in a woman that they're newly dating because they have been told when growing up that women don't appreciate a guy that leads with sex. They believe that women want to think that they have genuine interest in them instead of liking them because of their looks or what they can get out of them. And of course, that holds some truth. Women want you to have the genuine interest in them, but they also don't mind if you find them sexually attractive and you are open in expressing how that makes you feel. You don't need to shy away from your attraction towards them because it just feels inauthentic and breaks any chemistry with her. It's true that you want to have a genuine interest in the person that you are dating and to get to know them on a deeper level, but this should not be to the degree where you don't feel comfortable in pulling the trigger and going for that kiss if the moment is right because you fear that you will wreck the entire date and she'll never want to see you again. This actually is far from the case. Women are attracted to a man that shows confidence and knows when to go for the kiss. And in attempting to go for the kiss, it shows that he oozes that confidence. If she's not yet comfortable with that, then she can always decline. But many nice guys get stuck up on thinking that if she declines, then she has rejected them. Most times that is far from the case, especially if you feel this chemistry. It just means that she's not feeling comfortable in that moment. But if you're a confident guy, you're going to shrug it off and know that when you try again later on, there might be a different outcome. Nice guys fear showing their vulnerability and would rather wait until a woman makes the move because they have the certainty that she likes them enough to go for the kiss. But the majority of women will never take that step because they expect the guy to show the leadership and take the risk of stepping into that new level of intimacy. If you keep holding back from trying to go for the kiss, then she's going to think that you don't have the strength and confidence to pull the trigger, and she can easily be turned off and place you as the nice guy that finishes last. Now, if you want me to do a video on how to get her back if you've been too nice and she's blown you off, then write in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like. And there is a new dating forum on my website at mrhealthylove.com where we can create a worldwide community of people who can interact with each other and ask questions on relationships and dating. Especially in this period where people are quarantining and not really interacting with as many people as they used to, we can create an area where people with like-minded ideas can grow and become better people. It's almost like a mini Facebook where you can follow other members and message each other within the community. I'll also be on there answering questions, and if your question is particularly good, I will be analysing and giving advice to questions on future YouTube videos. So I recommend joining the community now, and it's completely free. And if you'd like any one-to-one coaching, I do email and telephone sessions that you can book on the same site, mrhealthylove.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.